Welcome to the City of Bloomington Budget 101 Budget Process Overview. Part 1, Budget Overview. The budget is developed by employing 5 high-level guidelines from the City Council: infrastructure, economic development, public safety, financial planning, and downtown initiatives. The budget is an allocation of the city's available resources to services, programs, and projects given the community's priorities and values. It is a financial roadmap for this allocation and provides the associated guidance to city staff. Budget basics. The city's fiscal year runs from May 1st through April 30th. The city adopts a legally binding budget in accordance with Chapter 65 of the Illinois statutes. There are also components outlined in our city code. The city must present a proposed budget by March 15th and adopt the annual budget by April 30th. The budget document is broken into 3 financial components: the current fiscal year projection, the coming year appropriation, and the 4 future or out years. Timing. The budget is an extensive document process that takes nearly 6 months to complete. Part 2. Financial structure and key concepts. Using fiscal 2024 as an example, the city's adopted budget totaled $290 million. The general fund total was $129 million. Other highlights of the fiscal 2024 budget included capital projects totaling nearly $70 million and a general fund reserve of nearly $43.5 million. Financial structure, funds. For accounting and reporting purposes, the city is divided into 29 funds. A fund is an accounting and budgetary tool used to segregate resources related to specific activities. Financial structure, fund list. The general fund is made up of a number of departments, including administrative, which include administration, city clerk, finance, HR, information technology, legal, parks and rec, public safety, including police and fire and their pensions, economic and community development, facilities, public works, and other departments. Special revenue funds include the state motor fuel tax, library, and the city TIFs. Debt service funds include the general bond and interest, arena bond, multi-project bond fund. Capital project funds include the capital improvement fund, capital lease funds, and the asphalt and concrete fund. Enterprise funds include water, sewer, storm, solid waste, the Abraham Lincoln Parking Facility, golf, and the Arena Fund. Internal service funds include casualty, employee and retiree group health, and finally the fiduciary fund includes the John M. Scott Healthcare Trust. Financial structure, fund relationships. For an example, the general fund, as mentioned earlier, includes public safety, economic development, parks. Special revenue funds are dedicated and have restricted revenues. Debt service funds are used to pay debt service and have transfers in from other funds to pay that debt. Capital project funds also include transfers in to pay for projects. Enterprise funds are operated and run similar to those of private business. They have direct service-related fees. Internal service funds are primarily pay for insurance costs. And finally, the fiduciary funds, the John M. Scott Healthcare Trust, have program service per fiduciary mandates. The financial structure, sales tax allocation. Broken out is including the state-controlled tax, the city-controlled, and then the total tax, and then the total amount received by the city. Financial definitions and concepts, accounting basics. Budgeting is done on the modified cash basis. Capital projects, normally an infrastructure type project that will have an expenditures in excess of $50,000. General fund projects are paid out of the capital improvement fund except for asphalt and concrete. Enterprise fund projects are paid directly out of their respective funds. Since some funds accumulate fund balance to pay for capital projects, the timing of projects can have a significant impact on the total budget for the year, without indicating an increase in fees or taxes to the community. Fund balance. Fund balance is the accumulated reserves savings of a fund. The Government Financial Officers Association recommends 2 months of reserves for the general fund, or 16.7% of annual expenditures. The fiscal 2024 budget that we have used in this example, the budget is $129 million. This would result in a goal of $21.5 million. Balanced budget, a budget where sources of funds equals use of funds. Part 3, process to product. Line item budget. Every one of the 4,000 accounts in the city's budget are determined individually. Finance works on the major revenues, intergovernmental, insurance, and loss allocations. Major tax revenues have been tracked by month for 15 years to model seasonality. Human resources. Compensation is entered by employees based on union contracts, of which there are 11, salary bands, health, IMRF, pension rates, etc. Departments. They are responsible for all other operating level accounts, revenue and expense, and capital projects. Amounts are entered into a 4-year tracking spreadsheet for comparison review purposes, and transaction descriptions are to be included. Finance then consolidates all this information and reviews for variances. And finally, Finance presents findings to City Administration, then to the City Council and the community. Allocation example for the general fund. Again, the 2024 adopted, using this as an example, have a breakout of admin and other, including legal, finance, public safety, economic development, facilities, fleet, McLean County Health, asphalt and concrete, capital improvement, the bonds, and enterprise funds. Allocation example citywide includes the general fund, water, sewer, storm, solid waste, golf, arena, capital plus the state MFT, local library fund, insurance and internal service funds, debt service, and all other funds. Budget dollars at work. As you can see, this is a makeup of, for example, police receiving almost 76,000 calls for service per day in fiscal 2022, or 209 calls per day for service. Fire receiving 13,000 calls for fire/ambulance rescue runs, averaging 36 per day. Parks, including golf, attendance was well over $350,000. The city maintains over 38 parks. They annually plant 600 trees and maintain close to 6,000. Economic and community development have 1,853 building permits issued in fiscal 22, over 1,100 business contacts. Facilities is responsible for over 1 million square feet of maintenance for city property. The library has over 200,000 visitors a year, and the arena had just over 31,000 attend events at the arena. Budget dollars at work continued here. Public Works. The Public Works Department maintains streets, over 812 lane miles. Over 17,000 tons a year of trash/recycling are hauled. Over nearly 15,000 cubic yards of brush. Water maintains over 1,000 miles of sewer and water. Over 4 billion gallons of water is pumped annually, nearly 11 million gallons a day. The Finance Department processes nearly 370,000 utility bills a year. The City Clerk Department processes 1,900 FOIA requests. Legal has nearly 500 administrative court cases. Human Resources processes 4,100 applications annually. And Information Technology maintains 3,000 devices plus 100 applications over 40 different locations. Part 4. References and monitoring. The city produces 3 budget books annually: a budget in brief, a budget overview and general fund, and all other funds and capital improvement, including projects with detailed project sheets. References, budget and brief content notes. Included in the budget and brief is a city manager message, a summary of where the money comes from, citywide and general fund related, where the money goes, and a property tax breakdown by the individual taxing bodies. References in the budget books for major content include a city manager detailed budget message, demographics and procedural process information, a variance review of revenues and expense year over year, narratives for each individual department with budget details, debt schedules, capital equipment, and capital projects. The rest of the year. Budget reports are provided to department heads monthly. Finance has meeting with department heads at least quarterly and with some departments every month. Financial budgetary reporting is done to the community monthly via the finance director's monthly budget report, which is also posted to the city website. Thank you for your interest in the City of Bloomington Budget 101 process.